Yo, what is up, everybody? I love when you all ask me questions. So this is what this video is going to be about. And I also went to Instagram to post my anonymous questionnaire link this time. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw my story, you probably saw this. If you didn't, you missed out, I'm sorry. But make sure you follow me on Instagram so you won't miss out next time. Sometimes I'll switch between the two. Instagram, I do it on YouTube community sometimes. So just want to switch it up sometimes. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you don't miss the next time that I do this so your questions can be answered. A good bit of y'all asked me questions. I don't know if y'all can see that, but look at that. I'm pretty sure some of y'all are nosy. Want to know all kind of stuff, what I've been doing, what's been going on, relationships, everything, how's things been going. So let's answer the first question and see how nosy everybody is. Let's see. Do you love your life? I love my life. I think the way that I've been living, the way that I've curated my life, what I have going on in my life, from friends, family, relationship, you know, everything that I feel that I've always wanted and, you know, aspired to be and aspired to be around, I have it. So yes, I do love my life. Yes. Some advice on landing a great paying job. Honestly, you need to know what your minimum is. So what is your minimum when it comes to salary? You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people settle when it comes to jobs. And I don't think you should settle, but always go a little bit above what you really want to make. So if your dream salary is, I don't know, 60,000, go about 5K, 10K over that just to see what will happen, because you never know. You know, salary discussions is a very hard topic to have. As y'all know, I'm a tech recruiter at Google, so you know, I talk through salary negotiations and salaries and things like that on a regular. So I know those conversations can be tough for people on the outside. So in order to get a good paying salary, know your worth. That's all I can say. Know your worth and be willing to negotiate and walk away if things don't seem in line with what you need and what you request. I say, how can one stand out on a job application? For one, you have to meet the qualifications. And I say this all the time. A lot of times these jobs will post what the minimum requirements are. If you need 5 years of coding, if you need 5 years of exact experience, 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what they want in order for people to be on that team and be looked at. So I would say the first thing is making sure that you follow the qualification list. A lot of people like to ignore, like, oh, they want 6 years, so I have to, I'm apply anyway. Maybe they'll give me a chance. If it's one of these, you know, companies that's highly sought after, they have no reason to go below what the qualifications list is because they have so many applicants coming in. So I would say the first thing that stands out is if you meet those qualifications, if you have the experience in which that you're applying for. A lot of people don't even have the experience, don't have the qualifications, but still apply anyway, wishing for a prayer. That might work at smaller companies, that might work with, you know, other companies, but these high requested companies that get thousands and thousands of applications, you at least got to meet the qualifications. So I would say that would stand out the most is if you have the role knowledge, meet the qualifications, and are really what the position is asking for. Top 3 encouraging songs that I listen to when I'm down. Man, honestly, I don't have a top 3. I just listen to music in general. So I don't have a top song that I listen to whenever I'm down or a list of songs that I listen to when I'm down. Honestly, I just love music. So any music will put me in a good mood. Usually I have a happy playlist and I just put that playlist on shuffle. And whatever song is on there, I feel comfortable that will cheer me up in some type of way. So I can't list one top 3. I don't have a top 3, but you know, maybe I'll share my happy playlist with you all and y'all can take a look at it. Leave a comment in the comment section if y'all want. See, ways, ideas that a woman can pamper a man. Oh, I like this. Honestly, I would say the main way that I feel like a woman can pamper a man, give your man a massage. You know, if you had a long day, give him a massage. Take him out to eat, plan a date, plan a trip, do something where expenses is all on you for a change. You know, a lot of times us men, we're required to pay, we're required to plan dates, we're required to keep leading, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we know. But there's nothing wrong with a woman saying, hey, you know something, I got it this time. I'm a plan for us to go somewhere. I'm a plan for us to go on a trip. Don't worry about it. Just show up or whatever. That's, to me, that's ultimate planning, pampering. Just taking something off his plate. I think that's pampering in general, honestly. Heck, cooking. Women don't like to cook these days, but if you cook for your man, whether you cook every night or whatever, that's pampering. He's going to appreciate that. He's going to, forever be thankful for that. You know what I'm saying? So I would say those would be some of the things that I can think off the top of my head. Next question, are you single? No, I am not. Question, what are some career tips that could land a job at Google? Honestly, again, back to the last question, qualifications, also networking. Network with people on LinkedIn, network with people that do similar jobs to you. That way you can get that experience and even learn more so what the role is like. So you can see if you actually fit what that role is asking for. But the main thing is the qualifications. Do you have the experience? Do you have the role knowledge? Do you have the amount of years that they're asking for? I would say that is first, but always good to know a recruiter, just someone that can kind of help you out. They might know exactly what the role is looking for. They might know a hiring manager or something like that. They could forward your resume over or something like that. Get your resume looked at, tell you what you need to, improve on. Whether it's a recruiter at Google or another company, it's always good to know a recruiter to at least pass your resume to, so they can, take a look at it and see if that's something that, might need a little bit of adjusting. Because sometimes resume, it need to be thrown out the door. What keeps you grounded even with all the success that you've accomplished? Honestly, what keeps me grounded is my background, where I came from. I didn't come from a household or family that had a lot of money. Struggled a couple of times. I'm very humble. Even the success that I have, I just be like, oh, cool, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. I'm thankful for it. I thank God. You know what I'm saying? Nothing in this world is given to you. I work for everything that I have. So for me to stay grounded is just remembering where I came from, remembering, how far I came, what hurdles I had to jump over, what obstacles I had to move around. That always keeps me grounded. And knowing that not many people that are in my position, not many people have had these opportunities, and it's up to me to make sure that I'm continue to be the standard, continue to be someone that can, make this lifestyle continue to look well on Black men and not take it for granted. So that's what keeps me grounded. I really want to get into photography. I got a Sony DSC H300 as a gift, but the quality isn't that great. Any suggestions would be appreciated. Honestly, that's a good place to start. Your phone camera is a good place to start. That camera is a good place to start. You have to learn the 3 rules of light: ISO, aperture, shutter speed. You learn those 3, you start to get better. Then you have to learn composition. How do you pose photos? Whether it's someone posing for you, how do you pose them? If you're shooting an object, how do you make sure this object is not just center, but it could be a little bit off and it is capturing to the eye? So with that being said, I would say just keep practicing. Just keep practicing with what you have. The 3 rules of light and composition. And then once you get good at that, I would say upgrade so your image quality can be a little bit better, because it sounds like you don't like your image quality. Upgrade. And then from there, you should see a little bit of progress in your photography. So I would say that's step number 1. Somebody said, what you working with down there?
Busy right now, working with a monster.
What is the hardest part about your life right now, and how are you navigating it? The hardest part about my life is choosing who's in my life. Whether it's being around certain friends, who's coming around, whether they're coming around for, what's going on, whether it's, what I'm saying? Like, that's the hard part, because you never want to invite the wrong people into your life and then your life goes downhill. Everyone that comes around isn't meant to be a part of your life in some type of way. So I think that's the hardest part. Also just balancing everything. I have a lot going on from work, from YouTube, from other ventures that I'm into, from fraternity stuff, from all kind of stuff. It's always something that I have to do. So sometimes that's kind of hard to I have a balance. I think I'm doing a great job with it right now, but you know, at any point, one of those things is skyrocket and I have to spend way more time on that than I usually do. And now I have to figure out how to reorganize. So I would say that's it right now. Somebody said sister, sister, or Moesha. I would say sister, sister. Definitely. What is the strictest non-negotiable in life right now, and what boundaries have you put in place to enforce that? Non-negotiables is I'm not tolerating BS. So the boundaries that I put in place, anytime somebody acting up, anytime somebody, you know, is dishonest, anytime I have to question somebody's integrity, anytime I feel like some shady shit is going on, you gone. And my girlfriend get on me about this a lot because she said I'm black and white. Like, I'm like, look, if you lie to me, if you disrespect me, if you do some shady shit, I don't care what the reason is behind it. You gone. Because you took the initiative to do it, and you know what you was getting yourself into, and you decided to do it, and now, you know, you expect from me now that I caught it or somebody told me about it, now you want to be sorry. I can't really flex with that. So if it's anything to do with dishonest, integrity, disrespect, anything like that, it gots to go. Somebody said, what brings you joy lately? Honestly, just life in general. Everything has been going pretty well. In a great relationship. That's been great. Loving things with my job. Some great music is coming out. So it's a lot of things for me to be joyful about. So I would say that for now. Those things is what brings me joy right now. Says, good evening, Corey. I love your videos. I have a organization that I am the founder and president of. Does sororities look at that? Yes, sororities definitely will look at that. You know, any type of organizational leadership, any type of ways that you can show how you go above and beyond when it comes to being a leader. Yes, they will look at that. Opinions on birds. This is a random question. I'm cool with birds, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't did nothing to me. Did you save for the down payment and closing before you start looking for a home? Also, do you have fully funded emergency account on the side? No debt like student loan debt. Yes, I did save for my home, for down payments and things of that nature. So yes, I did save for that. I do have a savings account on the side that I have just in case something goes wrong with the house, just in case I have to pay for something really quickly. I can go to that fund and pull from that and not my primary checking account. I do have student loan debt. Hopefully with the Biden things that will go down, but I do have student loan debt. But yeah, definitely save before, you know, you look into getting a home and you have to do the down payment. You will have to have some cash on you. So yes, definitely do that. Do you speak another language? I do not fluently. I know a little bit of Spanish, you know what I'm saying? Just do the high school and a little bit of courses in college, but I can't really speak it fluently. Your favorite part of your body? I really don't have a favorite part of my body, honestly. I feel like I like all of my parts genuinely the same, if that makes sense. I guess if I had to choose one, it'll be my face. I don't know. I never thought about that before. Last time you cried and why? Last time I cried and why? Last time I cried and why? I would say about a couple of months ago, I cried because I felt like, you know, blessings on blessings on blessings, you know what I'm saying? I was overwhelmed with blessings, not in a bad way, but in a good way. Like I was just thanking God. I was appreciating his grace, his glory. And I just bust out a tear, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand that I'm blessed. I understand that the things that came to me and is coming to me is, you know, well above me, you know. So I did break out a couple of tears when I was thanking the Lord, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that's the last time I cried, honestly, and it was a good cry. It was a good cry. So I'll say that's the last time. The most embarrassing thing you've ever done. The most embarrassing thing I've ever done. Honestly, this is probably a story time for another day. But one time I got so drunk, didn't even know it. and ended up falling asleep in a bathroom. And then I woke up in the ER because they took me away on a stretcher because I was asleep. Like nothing was wrong with me. I just ain't had nowhere to go. It just woke up, boom. I was in the ER on a stretcher. Like, where the hell am I at? So yeah, that was embarrassing. What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? Probably at this point, alligator. That's probably the weirdest thing. Even I think eating oysters is kind of weird. To me, it don't have too much of a taste, just salty. I don't see what the hype is. Maybe I ain't had the right oyster or whatever, but yeah, I would say between those two would probably be the weirdest things I would consider. Somebody said, are you a good dude or are you a F dude? Like what? I feel like for the most part I am a good dude. I try my best to, at least with the people that surround me in my life, that surrounds me, I do my best to make sure that I'm there for them. I do my best to cultivate those relationships, make sure those relationships stay strong. I feel like all men have had their moments where they've been single and they've been out doing whatever, just having fun. Every man go through that stage. I personally, isn't in that phase of my life at this point in my life. I'm 30, looking forward to, slowing life down, having a family one day, make sure all my ducks in a row to do those things. But yeah, I'll say I am a pretty solid dude, and those who know me probably know of that. Those who are closest to me know of that as well. Point of view, someone has a crush on you, should they keep it to themselves or tell you? Honestly, that's a good question. I feel like it depends on where at in the stage. If someone have a crush on you, I think they should tell the person instead of walking around and acting like nothing is going on. I think that's a little bit fake. I think if someone has a crush on you, then they're blatantly not telling you and not showing you, especially if it's someone you're around, and they're not being their authentic self. So I'm all about being your authentic self. So if someone has a crush on you or you have a crush on somebody, you should tell them. And I mean, 9 times out of 10, if they're in a relationship, they'll let you know they're not interested in that way, but at least you can get that off your chest and you don't have to walk around with eggshells at least. So yeah. What is your favorite spot to eat at in Atlanta? Ooh, it's a good bit. Brunch, I like Miss Icy's. It's a good bit of places in Atlanta that I like to eat. I like Pirates Boil. That's a good place for seafood. I think it's better than Juicy Crab. The Grill Village, that's a good brunch spot too. I like Spaceman Buckhead, even though it's a bar, but they have pretty good food as well. I have to take a look at my list. I got a whole list in my phone. I might need to share that with you all, honestly, because this is some spots out here. It is some spots out here. How was your home buying process overall? Simple or complex? To me, it was fairly simple because I already had my ducks in a row. I already knew what my credit score was. I already knew what money I had for down payments and things of that nature. So it was fairly simple. I already had all my paperwork together as far as like past W-2s, tax information, income, and all that. I had all that ready. So when they was asking for it, I already was like shooting it over. So my realtor did a great job at preparing me for what's to come. So I was ready for that. I feel like the only complex part was not being too much in the know, like during underwriting and stuff like that. They're going deep into your accounts and stuff. Like just not being in the know was the hardest part, I would say. But other than that, it was fairly simple for sure. Good question. Someone said, how are you doing? I am doing well. I'm doing great. No complaints at all. I appreciate you for asking. Somebody said the longest time you've ever gone without showering. The longest time I've gone without showering. Let me guess. Probably a day. I think it was like, I don't even know what the situation was. I feel like it was probably a day. Yeah, I think it was probably a day that I went without showering. Maybe 2 days. But I think that was because I had a layover. I can't remember. About a day or two. I'll keep it at that. So I say, why don't you respond to DMs? I try my best to respond to DMs. 9 times out of 10, I might look at it and be like, this is not worth the response. I probably won't respond to it. DMs, I mean, A lot of DMs, people might be replying to a story, somebody asking for something. So it's kind of hard to get a contact with me through a DM per se. But I try my best to answer and go through the ones that I can answer for the most part. So yeah. Can you make more D9 videos? Nah, that's not my lane, but there's a lot of creators that, you know, is doing a great job in that lane. I just feel you should continue watching them. Do you think it's necessarily or important for Black men and women to have a self-discovery phase when society is pushing the narrative and importance of having a hoe phase? Good question. I think everyone should have a self-discovery phase. I would say a self-discovery phase over a hoe phase, honestly. A self-discovery phase, you really need to understand who you are as a self, what you offer to the world, what you need from someone else before a relationship, what you like, what you don't like. You know, you need to have that discovery phase before you move forward with whether you want to be married, whether you want to be in a relationship, or you want to move forward in life. You have to understand what you require and what you're able to give in order to move forward. So it's very important. As far as the whole phase, I don't think that's a necessity over the self-discovery phase. I do think that people do need to have experiences with others in order to help you narrow down what you like and what you don't like. That helps out with that process within the self-discovery phase, but it's not a necessity. I say you should post more selfies. I like to keep a little bit ambiguous, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of, you know, behind the scenes sometime. And when I post, and when I don't, I don't. And that's one thing about me. Even though I'm technically a content creator, some people consider it an influencer, I don't post that much, you know. I still like having my private life. I still like to be in the moment for the most part. So for me, I don't foresee myself posting a lot. You know, I do what I can when I can and when I feel like it, and that's the luxury of my type of content creation. I do what I can when I can. But nah, I probably wouldn't be posting more selfies or anything like that. I'll probably keep the same cadence that I currently have. But I do appreciate that. I'm glad you want to see more of me. What would you tell your 18-year-old self about life and goals? Ooh, good question. Honestly, I would tell my 18-year-old self to take your time, man. Take your time. Life is short, but it's also a blessing where you can go off and really evaluate what's going on. You have time to figure things out. I feel like when you're 18 or when you're about to graduate high school or college, you feel like everything have to go fast paced and you have to figure things out quickly. But I realized that as you go through life, certain things will come to you. And if you try to force things all the time, if you try to plan things all the time, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to go as planned, which I made a video about that. So I would tell my 18-year-old self, just live in the moment, enjoy life. Have a couple of goals. Don't be too pressed if those goals don't happen in the time frame that you want it to happen. It will happen as long as you keep your mind to it. Don't worry about, you know, being in a relationship or anything like that. The right woman will come to you. Focus on yourself, understand your purpose, and really strive to be a better you. Strive to, you know, have a early on self-discovery phase. Going back to the last few questions, I feel like people with the self-discovery phase realize they have to do a self-discovery after something happens. Maybe it's a bad breakup. Maybe it's they're not getting anywhere in life. Maybe this and that. But if you just have that self-discovery phase early on around 18, 19, 20, you have that mindset to like really figure out who you are. I feel like you will be further along than a lot of people in life. So that's what I would tell my 18-year-old self. You know what I'm saying? Don't be worrying about women out here. Don't be worrying about getting in the panty draw. But nah, you know, when you're 18, especially as a guy, you're not really thinking about nothing. You just thinking about girls. You're thinking about, you know, college. You're thinking about whatever. You're not really thinking about the next steps of life, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I would tell my 18-year-old self. But thank y'all for watching. I appreciate all of y'all who asked these questions. And, you know, again, I asked this on Instagram. So, you know, hopefully I'll probably do it on YouTube next time. But just in case I do it on Instagram again, go ahead and follow me on Instagram so you don't miss out. I do it in my stories. My Instagram is Corey M. Jones 3. So yeah, I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.